If you're over 60, pause for just 2 minutes and listen closely. Your risk of heart disease isn't just high, it skyrockets to a frightening level with each passing year. And here's a truth almost no doctor will ever tell you. Millions of older adults battling heart disease or losing loved ones to it share one hidden danger. Their bodies are severely deficient in two life-sustaining nutrients: magnesium and CoQ10. The problem is, both of these naturally decline as you age. And when that happens, your heart, the hardest working muscle in your body, begins running on empty, like an engine with no fuel. Science shows that 75% of people over 60 are deficient in magnesium. And CoQ10 levels in the heart can drop by more than half by age 80. Magnesium deficiency is linked to sudden cardiac death, while low CoQ10 is almost always present in cases of chronic heart failure. That's why in today's video, I'm revealing 6 science-backed reasons why taking the right combination of magnesium and CoQ10 could literally save your heart, and the deadly mistakes many seniors unknowingly make that erase their benefits or even cause harm. And reason number 3 could be the line between living many more years or an unexpected sudden passing. Have you ever heard anyone say that? If you care about your health or that of someone you love, hit like and subscribe so you never miss life-saving information like this. And I want to hear from you. What state are you watching from in the U.S.? Are you or a loved one struggling with heart issues or other age-related health challenges? Leave a comment below, and I'll read and reply to each one. Your answer might also help hundreds of others. Once we pass 60, the heart, the one muscle in the body that never rests, has beaten more than 5 billion times since birth. But what most people don't realize is that at this age, their heart is running on empty without them even knowing it. And the silent culprits are 2 critical nutrients, magnesium and CoQ10. This isn't rare. Research in the U.S. shows that over 3/4 of adults over 60 are magnesium deficient. And CoQ10 levels in the heart can drop by more than half by age 80. Imagine a long-haul truck leaking fuel the whole way. Sooner or later, the engine will fail. Your heart is no different. Magnesium acts like the switch that turns on ATP, the electrical current powering every heartbeat. CoQ10 is the chief engineer inside your mitochondria, the factories that produce that energy. Without one, the process slows down. Without both, it's like a power plant losing both its coal supply and its generator. That's why so many older adults experience unexplained fatigue, shortness of breath while walking, or occasional palpitations that seem harmless but can be early warning signs of heart failure. What's more alarming is that this deficiency builds silently over decades, no pain, no obvious symptoms, until it triggers something serious like arrhythmia or sudden cardiac arrest. Cardiologists at the Cleveland Clinic have observed that low magnesium levels are strongly linked to higher rates of sudden cardiac death. And nearly every chronic heart failure case shows dangerously low CoQ10 levels. This is why many experts call magnesium and CoQ10 the survival duo for the heart. The good news is, when replenished correctly, they don't just fill the tank, they optimize the ignition system, helping your heartbeat stay steady, reducing the risk of arrhythmia, and boosting cardiac endurance. The famous Q-Symbio study showed that heart failure patients taking CoQ10 cut their risk of cardiac death by 42% and were far less likely to be hospitalized. At the same time, magnesium supports vessel relaxation, lowers the workload of the heart, and helps the muscle fully relax after every contraction. Think of it this way: if your heart is the life-saving pump, magnesium and CoQ10 are the power and the water supply. If even one runs low, the whole system begins to stall. And at our age, natural reserves are draining faster than ever. That's why the key isn't just taking them, it's taking the right form, in the right amount, at the right time, so the fuel doesn't leak away and the system runs at full strength. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. In the next part, you'll see how, beyond energizing your heart, this duo quietly controls your blood pressure in ways that many medications can't match. Trust me, you'll want to know exactly how they do it. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, leave a number 1 in the comments so I know you're here with me and tell me, have you or a loved one ever struggled with high blood pressure? I read every comment, and sometimes the advice for one person ends up helping dozens more. 1 in 2 Americans over 60 has high blood pressure, yet nearly 60% of them take medication every day. If that's the case, why do heart attacks and strokes still strike so often in older adults? Could it be that the approach we've trusted for decades is missing a vital piece? We've been taught that blood pressure can only be managed through medication. But what if 2 natural nutrients, magnesium and CoQ10, could help your body do the job better without adding another prescription? Magnesium is the controller of blood vessel tone. Picture your arteries like garden hoses without enough magnesium. Those hoses stiffen, making it harder for blood to flow. CoQ10 is like maintenance for your heart's pump, helping it push blood with less strain. Together, they don't just lower the number on a monitor, they ease the actual pressure on your heart. I remember a patient named Harold, 72, who had been on 2 blood pressure medications for more than a decade. His numbers on paper looked okay, but he was exhausted after walking from his living room to the mailbox. When he added high-quality magnesium glycinate and CoQ10 to his daily routine, things began to change. Within weeks, his energy climbed, and his blood pressure stayed stable without the dizzy spells he used to have. The problem is, most older adults are low in both. Without magnesium, blood vessels constrict, and blood pressure rises even at rest. Without CoQ10, the heart weakens, forcing it to work harder for every beat. Over time, that pressure is like running a marathon every single day without training. The body can't keep up. For many seniors, taking 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate daily, split between morning and evening, along with 100-200 milligrams of CoQ10 with a meal containing healthy fats, can help restore vessel flexibility and improve the heart's pumping power. Always check with your doctor before making changes, especially if you're on medication when blood vessels relax and the heart pumps more efficiently. Your current prescription might need adjusting. When arteries open naturally and the heart works with less resistance, you're not just lowering blood pressure, you're protecting your brain from stroke and your kidneys from long-term damage. But there's a problem, and it's one that even the most health-conscious people stumble on. In the next section, I'll reveal the biggest mistake when taking magnesium and CoQ10 together, a mistake that could silently erase all of their benefits. There's a little-known truth that many older adults overlook. They believe that simply taking magnesium and CoQ10 is enough to protect their hearts. But they forget one silent factor that can undo all their efforts: chronic inflammation in the blood vessels. This is the hidden destroyer that makes arteries stiff and narrow, no matter how carefully you supplement. Chronic inflammation is like rust inside a water pipe. You can change the oil in the engine, add fuel, but if the pipe is corroded, the engine will eventually fail. In the body, this rust comes from high blood sugar, a diet loaded with fried oils, a lack of fresh greens, and most dangerously, prolonged stress. When this happens, magnesium and CoQ10 can enter your system but still struggle to deliver their full benefits. I remember a woman named Margaret, 68 years old, who took magnesium and CoQ10 faithfully. Yet every time she checked her health, her CRP inflammation marker remained high. After digging deeper, she realized she was eating processed foods regularly and barely moved during the day. Once she replaced her breakfast with oats and berries, added a 20-minute afternoon walk, and practiced deep breathing, something remarkable happened. Within just 6 weeks, her inflammation levels dropped, her blood pressure stabilized, and her heart rhythm felt calmer than it had in years. If you want to reduce chronic inflammation and let magnesium and CoQ10 work at their best, start with simple changes. Eat more leafy greens, berries, and omega-3 rich fish several times a week. Cut back on processed and fried foods. And take 5 to 10 minutes a day to breathe deeply or meditate, lowering the stress that silently fuels inflammation. Remember, supplements are only one part of the puzzle. If you don't address the hidden fire of chronic inflammation, your heart and arteries are still under daily attack. And in the next part, I'll reveal another common mistake, one almost every person over 60 has made, that can send your blood pressure and heart health into a rapid decline. Even when you think you're doing everything right, most people over 60 think they're drinking enough water each day. They carry a bottle, sip here and there, and feel confident they're keeping their bodies hydrated. But what if I told you that the way you drink water could actually weaken your heart and drain the benefits of magnesium and CoQ10? You see, hydration isn't just about the total amount, it's about timing, balance, and mineral support. When you gulp down large amounts at once, especially ice-cold water, you can shock your system, diluting electrolytes and putting extra strain on the heart. And here's the twist: if your electrolyte balance is off, magnesium can't be absorbed properly, and CoQ10 won't be transported efficiently to your cells. I once spoke with a retired teacher named Thomas, who was struggling with dizziness and muscle weakness. Despite taking both magnesium and CoQ10 faithfully, it turned out he was drinking most of his water late in the evening, right before bed. Not only was he waking up multiple times at night, losing deep sleep, but his electrolyte levels were out of sync. With a few adjustments, spreading water intake evenly throughout the day, adding a pinch of natural sea salt to his morning glass, and avoiding heavy drinking right before bed, his energy and heart stability improved within weeks. To keep your heart strong and make the most of these vital nutrients, think of hydration as a steady stream, not a sudden flood. Drink small amounts regularly, favor room temperature water, and pair it with mineral-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds. And pay attention to your body if you're feeling lightheaded, unusually tired, or your heartbeat feels off. It may be your hydration pattern, not the supplements, that's to blame. In the next part, we'll tackle one of the most overlooked habits that can silently rob your heart of energy, even if your diet and supplements seem perfect. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, leave the number 1 in the comments below so I know you're still with me, and so others can see they're not alone in the journey to protect their hearts. Now, let's talk about another silent saboteur eating dinner too late. Many older adults are used to having dinner at 8 p.m. or even later, then going to bed shortly afterward. This might seem harmless, but in reality, it puts enormous strain on both the digestive and cardiovascular systems, while also reducing your body's ability to absorb and utilize magnesium and CoQ10. When you eat a large meal right before bed, your body diverts energy to digestion instead of using that energy to repair and restore cells. Late digestion also causes your heart rate and blood pressure to rise slightly during sleep, disrupting the deep rest cycle, the very time your heart and muscles need for recovery. And when sleep is disturbed, the effectiveness of both magnesium and CoQ10 drops significantly because your body lacks the foundation it needs for them to work at their best. I once met an elderly couple in Florida who took magnesium and CoQ10 supplements faithfully but still woke up feeling fatigued and short of breath every morning. When I asked about their dinner habits, they admitted they usually had their main meal around 8 p.m. and went to bed by 10. Simply shifting dinner to about 3 hours before bedtime and opting for a lighter meal rich in leafy greens and easy-to-digest protein made a remarkable difference. Their heartbeats became steadier, and their morning energy noticeably improved. If you want to protect your heart and get the most from these vital nutrients, try moving your dinner to an earlier time and keeping portions moderate. Your body will thank you the next morning when you wake up with a lighter, steadier heart and the energy to take on the day. Next, we'll move on to something most people would never expect. It's not in your diet. It's not about your water intake, but it has a powerful impact on how your heart functions every single day. Many seniors believe that as long as they take their supplements daily, their heart health is protected. But there's one overlooked factor that can quietly undo much of the benefit: chronic dehydration. You might think dehydration only happens when it's hot or when you're physically active. But for people over 60, it can creep in every single day without obvious signs. And it's especially dangerous for the heart. When you're even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, forcing your heart to pump harder. This increases strain on the heart muscle and can also reduce the circulation of magnesium and CoQ10 to where they're needed most. Imagine trying to water a garden with a hose that's only half full. The nutrients can't get through efficiently. Over time, this constant strain can contribute to fatigue, irregular heartbeats, and even higher blood pressure. One of my patients, a 72-year-old man from Arizona, was taking high-quality magnesium and CoQ10, but still complained of frequent palpitations and afternoon dizziness. We discovered he was only drinking about 4 glasses of water a day, thinking his morning coffee and evening tea were enough. After increasing his daily water intake to at least 8 glasses, spacing it throughout the day, his symptoms began to ease within a week, and after a month, his heart rhythm was far more stable. If you want to keep your heart strong and your supplements working effectively, make hydration a daily priority. Aim for clear or light-colored urine as a simple indicator. Carry a water bottle with you, and sip regularly rather than gulping large amounts all at once. And here's something important: by the time you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Don't wait for the signal. Make drinking water a habit, like brushing your teeth. Your heart will thank you with steadier beats, better energy, and improved nutrient absorption. Up next, we'll uncover a surprising lifestyle habit that can either fuel your heart's vitality or silently drain it every day. And most people over 60 have no idea it's happening. We've just explored how the right combination of magnesium and CoQ10 can protect your heart, restore energy, and even extend your life in the small mistakes that can completely erase those benefits if you take them at the wrong time or pair them with the wrong habits. If you're over 60, your heart has been working tirelessly for decades, over 2 billion beats without a single break. It's carried you through joy, through loss, and through moments of holding your loved ones close. But like any machine, it cannot run forever without the right fuel. Every day you delay making changes is another day your heart is forced to work harder. And I've seen far too many people realize this only after an unexpected event when it was too late to turn back time. If you learned something today that could save your life or the life of someone you love, don't keep it to yourself. Hit like Subscribe so you won't miss other life-saving information like this. And share this video with friends or family because you never know who might be saved because of you. And I'd love to hear your story. Which part of today's video surprised you the most? Are you currently taking magnesium or CoQ10? Share your experience in the comments. I read them and reply whenever I can. Your story might give strength to hundreds of others in this community. If you truly found this information valuable and want to support me in making more videos like this, you can leave a small donation like a warm handshake sent my way. And remember, your heart is the only engine you can't replace. Take care of it today so it can carry you through many more tomorrows.